Good afternoon, friends. Today's adventure, we are going to go track down the filming locations for Scream 2022. I hope you're ready to have a lot of fun. Let's get started. Oh, by the way, what is your favorite scary movie? Put your answer in the comments down below and let me know, the same way Tara did. Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch and Yeti here, as you can see right here in front of us. In the daytime now, we're going to really seriously go look up these filming locations for Scream 2022, also known as Scream 5 because it is the 5th Scream movie in the series. So now for a formal introduction, I am the Hitchhiking Yeti. Thank you so much for joining me today on this filming location vlog here in the Wilmington area. This house is very important. This is the first house we see in the movie. This is the site of the first Ghostface attack. Really cool. This is where Tara lived. And I think all the interior scenes that was shot in the movie was actually filmed here. It wasn't on a soundstage. I believe all that stuff actually happened here inside this house. They was here, I think, from September 23rd to the 24th. So they was here a few days to get all their filming shots done. So really cool attack scene. There's a lot of nostalgia in Scream 5. I'm gonna call it Scream 5. I don't like saying 2022, but Scream 5, there's a lot of nostalgia to the very first film. This house doesn't look as big as the one in part 1 where Drew Barrymore's house is, but it does have a lot of similarities. And just how the front of the house looks, the peaks of the 3 windows up here, the peaks are very similar. And then these big beautiful trees we got out here in the front yard, man, that is awesome looking. So at night it really looks creepy and cool and has that Scream vibe going on. So really awesome. I can see why they picked this house for the opening scene of the movie. It really set the tone nicely. So that being said, let's move on to our next destination here in Wilmington. We're going to run over to Cardinal Lane's bowling alley, which I think may or may not be permanently closed. So we'll see what we see when we get over there. So let's get rolling. All right, friends, I have made it over here to Shipyard Boulevard where Cardinal Bowling Lanes used to be. Unfortunately, I got some bad news. Old Cardinal Bowling Lanes has been leveled here recently, and I had no idea. But here is the parking lot, and right here is where the Cardinal Bowling Lanes used to be. This was a cool part in the movie because in the opening scene, you know, Tara gets attacked, and then Sam and her boyfriend Richie, this is where they work, is at Cardinal Bowling Lanes. And they would have been a door like right over here in this area. And they come out the door, Sam sits down to hang out a little bit and take some kind of a pill. I don't know if she's stressed out or what's going on, but she gets a phone call. And then her boyfriend Richie walks out the door behind her to come sit with her and see how she's doing. And in the phone call, one of her friends, Wes, calls. And Wes actually breaks the news to her that Sam, your sister Tara, has been attacked by Ghostface. And then we're off. She's got to get in her car with Richie, and they decide to go together and drive to Woodsboro to go see about her sister and kind of get to the bottom of what's going on. Ghostface returns, and so that's what happens here in this scene. I really hate this place has been leveled, but hey, it is what it is. But we got more stuff to go look at, so let's get rolling. All right, we have made it to our next filming location. I'm over here at Greenfield Lake. And there is a road that kind of skirts around the outer edges of Greenfield Lake. And that is this road. This is East Lakeshore Drive right here. And this is where we will see Sam and Richie. As they're making their way to Woodsboro, they come right down this road. You will see this tree is a very important marker. And this railing right here. So that's how we're going to match that up. We're going to walk up the road here a piece and then show the screen grab and just kind of match his stuff up. So right here is pretty much the shot we see. Now I'm here early in the morning, so I got a little bit more shadows and stuff to deal with than what they had that day, but this is pretty much it. You can see the tree, you see a little bit of the railing right there, and this is pretty much the shot. So we got this one knocked out. Let's go move on to the next one. So I'm going to say this right here is probably about the angle in the movie you're seeing the Woodsboro city limit sign. It's just off to the left of that tree, but you can see that tree is split, how it's divided. Just imagine that sign being there. And there's a few of the trees there on the right that has been removed because they look kind of unhealthy, and we do get tropical systems in this area with heavy winds and stuff, so you know, these smaller trees do not last all the time, so that might be what's changed here, but it's definitely the spot. All right, so now let's hit uptown and go check out the actual street where they're in Woodsboro, where you start seeing the cities and the buildings and things like that as they head toward the hospital area to check on Tara and meet up with everybody and get to the bottom of this. Man, everybody is so nice out here at Greenfield Lake. Everybody's out this morning jogging. It's a beautiful morning to be jogging, let me tell you. It is gorgeous. I feel kind of embarrassed though. I mean, they're out here jogging, getting exercise, getting a good sweat on. I got up this morning and went to First Watch over by the Independence Mall and got me a big old plate of gravy biscuits. Choked that down with some coffee. I feel like going taking a nap, and they're out here getting some exercise. All right, friends, I'm over here on South Front Street in Wilmington, and it is a lot of stuff going on today because they're having a downtown market. But real quickly, I want to kind of step out here and show you where Sam and Richie actually drove their car right down this way. And if we look right across the road here, you can see Church Alley, and in the movie that sign actually said Elm Street, which was a nod to Nightmare on Elm Street, another Wes Craven movie that he directed. All right, we have made it to our next spot. This is Williston Middle School here in downtown Wilmington. What an awesome looking school this is. Kind of shame they didn't use any of the exterior of this school. Look how grand that is. The steps. It looks kind of spooky. It looks like that would totally work in a Scream movie, but they really didn't show it, I don't believe, at all. But we're going to make it over here where we're introduced to the Woodsboro High, the kiddos that are going to be stalked down by the ghost face. That big tree right there, that's where we're headed. Let's go over there and line up some shots. So about right here is the scene in the movie where they have it's like I think there's like 3 picnic tables out here. And you see all the Woodsboro students sitting here. You see Wes, the brother and sister. Everybody that's going to be a player in this movie is right here at this table, and they're all talking about this killer and kind of joking around who it might be, things like that, and even already talking about which one of you guys, you know, not turning on each other, but everybody's a suspect at this point, even if you're friends. So really cool. When we look off over here to the right, you will see like some school buses back over this way, and this is the area where we're going to see Deputy Hicks, which is Wes's mom. We'll see her off in the distance right here. Man, I tell you one thing, this is a beautiful tree. What a great filming location area. But before we leave, I do want to point out that this is also the spot. Not only do you meet the kids of Woodsboro and you meet Sheriff or Deputy Hicks, you also meet a character by the name of Vince, which is kind of interesting. He has a small part in the movie, but you actually will see him right here. His hot rod is parked right here behind this little scrab tree right here, and that's where you see Vince, and he's actually flirting, I think, with Liz. I think her girl, that one woman that used to date him or something, her name is Liz. You see him right there, and the significance to Vince is very small, but he is the nephew of Stu from the first Scream movie. If you've watched the first Scream movie, you know who Stu is. If you've not seen it, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to spoil that, but there is a character named Stu. He's a big part of the movie, and that is his nephew. So another throwback to the first movie, another little tie-in, kind of cool. So that being said, we are going to learn a little bit more about Vince And where we see him next is at a bar. He might be taking a leak, and he might have met somebody in a ghost face mask, and it might have got ugly, and who knows. I don't want to spoil the whole lot, but it is a horror movie. So let's go ahead and move on to the next location, friends. This was an awesome one. I really like this, man. This tree is magnificent. All right, here we are at the Wilmington Riverwalk for our next scene. This is the scene where we will see, for the first time in the movie, Sidney Prescott, who's been through a few Ghostface movies in her day. So we actually see her jogging with with a carriage, like her baby maybe. And it's actually right here in this spot. Kind of get down low. Right here's about the camera angle that we see her jogging. And you can see this bridge right over here to the right, very prominent in the shot. All right, we're going to make our way down here to where the shot is of Sidney actually answering her telephone. And you see these seats right here, and you can actually see this one, this last seat, just kind of framed in about like that. I think that right there is pretty close to the shot we get, how things was lined up. We have the benches. You can see the bridge in the background. That's pretty much the angle of the shot. Looks pretty good though. Pretty cool. So the interesting thing is Neve Campbell playing Sidney Prescott. This right here where we see her in the movie, and later in the movie you see her supposedly at the Woodsboro Hospital. You know, you're going to see Dewey there at one point, and no spoilers, but yes, Dewey will be at this hospital at one point in time in the movie, and you're going to see them talk to Sam, and all that happens right here. This right here is the Wilmington Convention Center, and it's pretty cool. You didn't have to go very far, or she didn't have to go very far to film her scenes, because this right here was actually the hospital area. This here's where the ambulances would come around, drop people off, but they have a scene right here. This is where they talk, and that's about as much as I'm going to get into. I want to stay pretty much spoiler free, but this convention center area here actually dubbed as the hospital for Woodsboro. All right, everyone, I have made my way over here to 18th Street and Chestnut on the corner, and this right here, this house is Deputy Judy's house in the movie Scream 5. And kind of to set it up, this is where Wes and his mom are at home, and she's going to go out and get some food. He's going to go take a shower, and then Ghostface calls Judy on the telephone and tells him that, you know, I'm going to murder your son, pretty much. So she turns around, comes back, runs right down through here toward the front door, and lo and behold, Ghostface is hiding behind like a bush right here, and he jumps out and attacks her right here in this spot. And then her son is actually upstairs taking the shower. And so this is where it all happened, right here in this very house. Pretty cool. And I think they also filmed on the inside of this address also, because I think the windows and everything really matches up. And you could, in the movie, I think you can see these windows across the street. I don't think the trees are, and the foliage is quite so thick, but this is where it happens. This right here was Deputy Hicks' home. So there you go. There's another one knocked off. Let's keep going. We got some more stuff to look at, and then we're going to wrap this video up, because I'm getting hungry. About time to eat. Those gravy biscuits I ate this morning are starting to wear off. All right, friends, I'm over here on 42nd Street, and I'm here at the bar where they filmed the interior bar scenes where they're playing pool, all the kids. Vince goes into the bar, and him and Chad have a little spat, and they're starting to boil over. They kind of threaten each other, and finally Vince, because of the numbers, he decides to leave or vacate the place, and supposedly he goes around back here to take a leak. All right, friends, I actually walked into the Reggie's bar here and got a confirmation that some of the people here, they actually remember this happening. This is actually where they filmed it. You got the pool tables in here. The walls have not changed at all, but in the lighting in the movie, it's quite different. But this is the room where everything happened. This is where all that interior scene was filmed. So pretty cool place, really cool guys here. I met a guy named Zach behind the bar. He was really really nice. And they also told me that Halloween, one of the recent Halloween movies, was also filmed right here in this area. But today we're just covering Scream, but this is the inside of Reggie's. So really cool. So this is where Vince and Chad had their little fallout, and then Chad pretty much threatened him a little bit more, and it was like number game, and Vince decided to just leave the premises, go outside and relieve himself on the back wall. But the back wall that you see in the movie is not the back wall here. We're going to go to that place next and look at it, but it's actually clear across town, quite a little way. So we're going to head over that way and check out where Vince relieves himself. And most importantly, he meets Ghostface. And that might not end too well. No spoilers, but just saying, it is a horror movie. All right, I have made my way from Reggie's bar over here to on the corner of 5th Street and Kidder Street. And this building right here, this is the location where Vince is supposedly, this is filmed to be the backside of the pool hall that they're all meeting up in, and Vince leaves kind of annoyed, and he's been drinking, I guess. And right here is where he lays his hand up on the wall. You have these steps up above. Right here is the lights with the fixtures have been changed from the movie. But this is the spot where Vince was relieving himself. And then right here behind him, the car lights turn on. His car is parked right over here, and the lights turn on. And then he gets a little annoyed, and he's walking out here and like, "Is that you, pretty boy?" He thinks it's Chad, I guess. And he's walking over here, and the guy's revving the car up and everything. And then Ghostface comes out of nowhere and takes him out, demolition style. All right, so this will complete this location. Vince, Ghostface scene right here. And Ghostface was the winner. That's a little spoiler, but you gotta know that's gonna happen. A little character like that who don't have a big stake in the movie, you know he ain't gonna make it long. Come on, man. But anyway, this is the scene right here behind this building. It was not at the bar. Like watching the movie, I thought it was just like right around the back, but no, it's not. It's clear across town, quite a few miles to get over here. In the middle of nowhere. I mean, you see this abandoned building. And what kind of neighborhood we're in here. I mean, it's pretty, this is a rundown lot right here with a really bad looking fence. So yeah, but right here is where the scene took place. That's what it looks like in the daytime. All right, we are here at our last destination. Real quick, I don't spend a whole lot of time here, but this is going to kind of wrap our video up today. So the two of the characters in the movie, I guess they're like brother and sister. So you had Chad and Mindy, and Chad is actually Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. He's very, I mean, he looks just like his daddy to me. And but this here is their house I'm about to show you, and this is, I think, the last time in the movie where all those kids get together, all those high schoolers get together and kind of hash out who they think the killer is and what they got to do to catch him and things like that. And the other cool thing about this home right here is this is where Dewey shows up. Dewey actually finally shows up right here. You know, earlier in the movie, Sam and Richie goes and meets up with Dewey and tries to get his help and get a little guidance because they know he has a lot of experience dealing with this stuff in Woodsboro. So he kind of, you know, brooms them away and he don't want to get involved. And then finally he comes to his senses and he says, you know what, I'm going to go help these guys. And so he shows up to this address, to Chad and Mindy's house, and he goes in, sits down with them and talks with them. And but so that kind of happens. And there's kind of a funny point where they're sitting there you know, thinking who they think the killer is, going back and forth bickering, and he's kind of giving some insight on who might be the killer in their group. And then one of them, actually, I can't remember who it is. I can't remember which kid it was. It might have been Wes, who said he thinks that Dewey might be the killer, you know. And he says, man, you must be the killer because that one hurt, you know. So it was kind of cool. But this is it. So that being said, I'm all done today. Thank you so much for watching, friends. I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. I enjoyed making it. Until next time, I hope all y'all stay safe, and I will see you around soon. If you liked today's vlog, don't forget, before you leave, don't forget, give it a big old thumbs up. Put a comment down below if you enjoyed Scream 5 or Scream 2022, whatever people want to call it. And that'll be that. I'm all good. Subscribe to the channel, by the way. It's free. Don't cost you nothing. I will see y'all on my next adventure. Y'all stay safe. Hope to see you soon. South Live Oak Road. What a beautiful area. I love the trees. Just look how beautiful that is down through there. Awesome neighborhood. They picked a good one. All these filming locations in this vlog today was seeing them in person. You have no doubt why they filmed here in Wilmington. A lot of good spots. Ghost face.